Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Kathy Zerler with Deborah Basham. We are presenting restorative yoga to you on YouTube. So there's no charge ever. And let's begin. So we're going to lie down on our backs. But before we do, and if you'd like to listen to what I'm going to tell you and lie down on your back, please do. This is your yoga. You do the right things for you. You are your own best teacher. When we restore our bodies, we breathe slower and deeper. You've heard the difference. You've heard the difference in your own breath if you're gasping. You're gasping for breath. That can be a real stressor, or it could just be that you pushed yourself to exhaustion. The longer, slower breath is the breath that we have in sleep. And we can sort of consciously bring that back during the daytime when we're feeling stressed. So it's a good technique to calm down. Along with the movement that we do, which is always mindful, we are always watching what we're doing with our mind's eye. And we move from the inside out. Now that is really, it's moving from the heart out to everybody around you, but it begins with you, sending that peace and joy and love in a very healthy way. In the movement, a lot of it comes from the spine to the shoulders, out to the fingers, from the spine to the hips, down to the legs, down to the feet, from the shoulders up through the neck to the head, all of that. So the inside is the core. The core literally is the torso. So it's everything between the shoulders and the hips and the legs. So that is the premise of what we're doing. The only rule is do not hurt yourself, which means watch what you're doing. And if you come close to anything that feels achy, then back off or don't do it at all. Do something else because you are in charge of this experience. This is your body. So I'm going to lie down on my mat now in rest pose. And hopefully you're already there, just listening and breathing. And if you're lying down on your mat just right now too, then roll back your shoulders, settle in, allow your body to completely release as much as you are able to. As we live, there's always some tension. Right now, let as much of that go as you can. Begin to breathe slower and deeper. If you can breathe in and out through your nose, there are additional benefits. So do that. Settle yourself. The Quakers have a practice in their meetings, the meetings, they call them friends meetings, where they center down. They say, we're going to center down. So centering down, as we lie down, as we find our center, our heart, let everything around it soften. Let your heart open. So when you're lying down on your back and you roll back your shoulders, you open up the heart space. Slowly begin to turn your head from side to side in a gentle flow. We are probably going to do in this hour slow flow. in everything we're doing. And that means flowing from side to side, going up to your edge and holding it there and flowing back. The hold is just for a moment. You just go there, notice it, come back to center, notice that, go to the other side, notice that. Checking your shoulders now. Continuing to breathe whatever breath feels good for you. Lift up one arm. Enough off the mat, high enough off the mat, so your shoulder is also, the shoulder and through the fingers are all above the mat. Breathe into that weight. Notice that your shoulder is doing the work. And all at once, drop the arm and let everything melt. When I did that, I felt my belly relax. I must have been in the middle of a breath or something, but maybe I was contracted for exhale. It's hard to focus on breath when you're speaking. Let's do the other arm. Lift that up. Shoulder through the fingers, all off the mat. You know what we're going to do. We're going to hold it until we notice the weight, and then we're going to let it all go. All at once, let everything go. The arm and everything else. Now, I'm going to have you come down focusing on the low belly, the low core. So traveling down your spine, squeeze the hips and pull down on the abdominal muscles that are right below your navel. They go transversely across your body, and they're called the transverse abdominal muscles. So TBA for short. Contract that area, squeeze the hips, squeeze the glutes. Notice your quadriceps. They cannot help but join in. Everything is connected. Release that area, soften. Let's do that again. The melt, remember the softening is just as important as the tightening or the tension or the holding up the arms. When we held up our arms a moment ago, we felt the tension. When we dropped everything, we softened. Those two parts, the tension and the release, are healing for the body. They're equally important. So don't cheat yourself by not resting when you need to. Okay, let's squeeze the low core again. Draw it all together as if you're trying to hold everything in. Breathe, squeeze, hold. And all at once, release everything. All right, so let's now lift up both arms. Squeeze that core area because now we have two arms. We're weightlifting with both arms. It's heavier. We're going to use our core to protect our bodies, especially our low back, because we're lifting. If you'd like to add tension to the lift, you can squeeze the fists and increase circulation in your arms, blood circulation a little bit more, as well as the tension. All at once now, let everything go. Let it all melt. Take a breath. Feel the energy that you are creating. Engage the low core again. Squeeze it all together and lift the right leg just up off the floor. Now the leg is way heavier than the arms. So we really need to engage our core when we're lifting this heavy weight, as you would if you were lifting a heavy box or a heavy child. We use our core to protect our lower back when we lift anything heavy, which at a certain age, It's just about everything. So sometimes you'll hear from a doctor, don't lift anything more than 10 pounds. If you have maybe you've had surgery or some injury. Well, that's a bag of groceries. So, I mean, unless all you bought was cereal or something, but you know what I mean. It's an average weight of 10 pounds. All right, let's drop the leg and let everything go. So when we are lifting, the point is, use the core. It protects your body. Other leg, squeeze the core. Draw it all together. Lift up the leg. Breathe and hold. It's a heavy weight. Hang in there. And then all at once, drop it, let it go. Feel the energy. Let's do that with the other leg. Squeeze the core, lift it up, hold it there. Breathe into the weight. Breathe into the weight that's being held by the core. So you're breathing into your whole core, down the leg you're lifting up. And it's important to continue to breathe. Often when we hold a pose like this, we hold our breath. So resist that. Drop everything, let it all go. Deep breath. The other leg, same thing. Squeeze, lift, hang in there, breathe. And when I say hang in there, I mean you hang as long as it is comfortable for you. If anything starts to feel like it's too much, then it's too much. Release it, let it go. Even good things can be too much. And what you're doing for your body now is a very good thing. Drop everything, let it all go. Bend both knees. Bring both knees up to your chest, nice and close. Put one hand behind each knee. So now you're in sort of an upward facing fetal position. And roll on your back in a circular motion or side to side or back and forth, whatever feels comfortable for you. And you can combine these things. You can roll head to toe, or you can roll side to side, or you can roll in a circular motion. We're letting go and massaging our spines now, generating better circulation around our spine. You're a generator. What do you think about that? Extend your feet again. Check your shoulders, roll back your shoulders, and bring both arms overhead behind you on the mat. And press, point the feet, press through the toes and the fingers, lengthening, opening up. Feel the length. Feel the space between the vertebrae, the space around the organs. Feel the length of your torso. And then soften everything. Bring the arms back and bend both knees. Roll onto one side and use your elbow and your other hand to press yourself up to a seated position safely. Hi, Happy Baby. So we have a visitor today. This is Happy Baby. Yeah, you really can't be on the mat right now. Yeah, because I'm teaching. She knew we were doing restorative yoga. Will you come over here and sit? Will you come over here and sit? Okay, you can go over there. Go on, go on, go on. It's okay, go, go. So she loves to do yoga with me. She is a healing dog. Go ahead and sit down, sit down. So I'm sitting in staff pose. Pull that fleshy part back. So you're on the sits bones and your legs are out in front of you. Point your feet, lengthen your spine. Feel the length and the strength in good posture. Roll back your shoulders. Notice this. Good posture is the single best thing for a healthy spine. So soften up, bring the arms out. We're going to work the arms. We are continue to work the arms. Actually, we started warming up the arms and the legs. We're going to continue by moving from the shoulders. Small movements up and down, as if you're patting the air, stimulating airflow perhaps. Stop, palms up, gently lift the air. Small change in the shoulders. You are in control of this. The reason I'm asking you to move slowly is because you can keep in better focus if you're moving slowly and not worried about the next move because you're moving too fast, or letting the movement become momentum, which takes away the base of the strength, because then it's just all flying and you're in momentum. Stop here, bring it up, fold your hands, palms up toward the ceiling, chin back, seat tall, spine tall. Breathe, smile, and release. Roll the shoulders now. Feel that goodness as you roll the shoulders. And stop and settle and make space between the ears and the shoulders. And then we're going to continue a little bit of neck movement and then return to the shoulders. So draw a circle in front of your face with your nose. A nice big slow circle. Feel the neck rotating as the head is rotating. Now the neck is one of the more delicate parts of our bodies, and we need to take a closer look at what we do with our neck than we do with probably most other things, although close looking at our bodies is highly recommended in every movement. Coming back to center, but take care of your neck, it's delicate. Sit tall, chin back, draw that circle in the opposite direction. TLC, tender loving care. Bring that to yourself and you will be able to extend it to everyone else. Come back. Center yourself. Bring your arms out. Palms forward now. Small circles backwards. Sitting tall. Without our bodies, Emile Zola once wrote, where would we live? Without our bodies, where would we live? Stop. Small circles forward. We need a place for our hearts and our souls and our minds to reside. So, are you living in a fixer-upper? Or are you living in a haven of comfort and peace? You can actually do both. You can actually be in a haven of comfort and peace in your home, and there's always maintenance to do on a home. So we're all fixer-uppers, right? Soften and release and roll back the shoulders. We're going back up to do small circles forward, but first we're going to relax a moment and bow our heads and let the back of our necks soften and lengthen. Bring up your head. Bring the arms back out, palms forward, small circles forward. coming from the core, moving from the inside out. You're doing it right if you're not hurting yourself. So don't hurt yourself. That's the rule. Cause no harm. And release. And roll. Bring your arms up again. Lift up. Lengthen. Squeeze your seat. And now soften in. You're in a nice tall spine. And arch your back and look up. Bring up your head. Release. Release to goalpost. Small movements again. Moving the shoulders. Working the shoulders. Feeling good about it. Stop. Scarecrow. Moving the shoulders up and down. This is the last shoulder exercise, although the shoulder's involved in everything else as we move together, because once again, absolutely everything is connected. Swing the arms just for a little bit of elbow grease and release. And say ah and roll back your shoulders. Oh my goodness, that felt good. Okay. Let's bend our knees, turn to one side, push up to the table, and begin the cat table cow. Looking at your mat, tuck your chin, pull in your belly, and arch up into the cat stretch. Release to the table. Breathe into the cow in a nice flow. Breathe back to the table, arching up like a fraidy cat. Letting go to the table to center. Swaying into the cow, lengthening the belly. Making space between the ears and the shoulders at the extension. Breathing back to center. Arching up into the cat. To center. To the cow. This is the nice, slow and easy, well-known vinyasa flow. Come back to the table. Widen your hands and your feet to the width of your mat, the edges of the width of your mat, and push it up into downward facing dog. Allow your head to hang between your arms. Very important. Because remember the neck. Anytime we can release the weight of our, on average, 10-pound heads, we need to do that. When we're lying down in sleep, our head is resting. When we're hanging out in an inversion like this one, our heads can hang. So make use of that. In the down dog now, press your hips back. Feel the length in the shoulders, in the back ribs. Let your tail light shine. Walk your hands and feet together to forward bend. Take a moment at forward bend and then slide up to flat back. Put your hands on your shins and hold it here. Notice this. And then tucking the chin, pulling in the belly, continue to roll up to standing. And as you come up, notice the blood flowing from your brain to your heart. Roll back the shoulders, completing that blood circulation, letting your heart fill up with healing oxygen. And gently roll back your shoulders, bring your chin back. Come to the mountain and look at your feet. You want your feet forward. And you want your legs straight down from the hips. So your hips are about, or your legs are about hip width apart. I'm looking down, I think my feet are 4 or 5 inches apart. So depending on how wide your hips are, that's where your legs need to be. The hips come straight out, the thighs or the quadriceps, the thighs, the knees, everything is lined up with everything else. Even the forward facing foot. Now, if you were on tiptoes, that would be stress. You would be adding stress to this pose. This is the mountain. So here we are, arms at our sides. Let's sway from side to side, gently opening up, twisting from the waist, opening up space around the organs, and just moving gently. So think about this. I'm guessing most of you are adults that are watching this practice, but maybe some of you have your kids in the room too. Now, there's no way a 6-year-old is going to do this. They're going to do this. She said to sway from side to side. I'm going to sway from side to side. Well, that's great. That's 6-year-old energy. So if that's how old you are doing great. Otherwise, if you're a little older, let this settle in to every single cell in your body. All of the movements, all of the returning to center, all of the mindfulness, your body's absorbing. Yeah, it's good. Everything has a memory. Forward bend. Bring the elbows in. Bend the knees. Sit way back. Bend the knees. Fold in half. Slide down to forward bend. Let your head hang between the arms as you lengthen the leg. Now, if you cannot have 4 points on the floor, that is if you can't touch, then you need a block or a book or a little stool or a bolster so that you can have 4 points stabilizing this pose. Remember, your head is hanging. As you lengthen and straighten the legs, notice that your low back is opening, the lumbar, the sacrum, all of the area around the sacral plate is opening. Shake your head, yes. Stimulating the crystals in your skull. Now, let's roll up to flat back. Hands on the shins. Come into flat back. Look at the mat. And then let the head hang and tuck the chin as you continue up, moving slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae. Head comes up, shoulders roll back. Sweep up your arms, lift up, look up and lengthen. Arch your back, lean back a little. Bring up your head, release your arms, forward bend. Elbows in softly to the waist, sit way back. Bend your knees, fold in half, hang out. Shake your head, yes. Hanging here, begin to notice when you straighten that you can feel some tension in the backs of your legs. You can feel the weight of your head hanging, and you want that weight. You don't want to be holding it up. You can feel the sacrum, a sacred place. You can feel the blood flowing to your brain. Let's slide up slowly now to flat back, hands on the shins, coming up to flat back. Deep breath. Tucking the chin, pulling the belly. Think about alignment. One bone on top of the next. Shoulders roll back. Settle in. Sweep up. Extended mountain. Lift up the toes. Widen the fingers. Now release the toes. Look up and arch your back. So we want stability. That's why we lifted up our toes when we were standing tall. But when we look up and lean back, we need more foothills, a bigger platform. So in the mountain, bring up your head now and release the arms. In the mountain, the feet are the foothills. Unlike a mountain, now let's sway from side to side here, releasing that, our foothills don't sprawl. So we need to sprawl for them. We need to make space. This is also the mountain with your legs together, with your feet together, and you're tall. But you can feel this is not as stable a pose. So we stand like this with our feet apart. It gives us more space, and it's important. Let's do another forward bend. Elbows in. Hands are soft here. We don't need to use our hands in a forward bend. So we're going to let that muscle group relax. As we sit way back, bend the knees. We want the knees above the feet. Slide down to the mat. Let your head hang. Let your spine open up and hang out here. Grab your elbows and sway from the waist from side to side. Coming to center, release the arms. Slide up to flat back, hands on the shins. Continue to roll up, tucking the chin, stacking the vertebrae, letting your head come up as your shoulders roll back. Sweep up, lift up, arms above the head, extended mountain. Lift up the toes, widen the fingers. Lower the toes. Look up at the ceiling, arch your back. Bring up your head and release. We are in good posture now. I'm going to step forward so I can be right facing you. And you can see that I've extended the space between my legs a little bit. Hands on the waist, knees are soft. Twist from the waist, looking over one shoulder. Hold it, breathe into it. Release and flow back to center. Other way. Looking over that shoulder. Hold it here. Breathe back to center. Twist the other way. These rotations flex the spine and open up space around the organs. Come to center. Turn the other direction. Breathing as you hold, remember, oxygenate. Come back to center. And release the arms. And then sway from side to side. Nice and slow. You can march in place if you want to. Just letting go and softening. And then let's step out to tripod. So step out to about the width of your mat. Bend the knees, and then your arms together in front of you on the floor become the third leg of the tripod. Hands on the mat, knees are soft. Walk both hands over to the right foot, left hand on the mat, right arm up in the air, look up, look down, right arm down, walk back to center, Both hands to the left foot, right hand on the mat. Left arm up in the air, look up. Look down. Left arm down. Walk back to the center. Both hands to the right foot. Left hand on the mat. Right arm up in the air. Look up. Look down. Right arm down. Come to center. Walk both hands to the left foot. Right hand on the mat. Left arm up in the air. Look up. Look down. Slowly roll up, bone by bone. Shoulders roll back. This time, bring your arms behind you and then fold your hands. You're in a good tall seat stance. Bring the arms away from your back. And then bend from the waist to sort of to a flat back. And then bring the arms up. And you can go farther than flat back if it feels okay. So it's a standing, humble warrior, sort of a variation on forward bend. But this time the arms are up in the air. Slowly come back up. So what we're doing here is more flexing, and this time primarily the scapula. So let go, roll your shoulders, release that now, release the shoulders, because we've engaged the shoulders. This is probably, I'm guessing, a lot of you walk around with your devices in your hand, or you're sitting in front of your device and you're folding forward. Especially now, we're all, so many of us, working from home. So you need to do this contraindication of rolling back the shoulders just to keep your spine erect. And it's the single best thing that we can do for a healthy spine. Good posture is the single best thing we can do for a healthy spine. According to Mayo Clinic, Johns Hopkins, Harvard Institute, Cleveland Clinic, all the biggies that do medical research will agree that if we stand tall, we're doing our bodies a favor. We're opening up space for the organs. We're extending our bones. We're stretching our muscles to their capacity. So do that. Work the body. Come into another flat back with humble warrior. Bring the hands behind you. And then bow forward, humble warrior. Arms up as far as they can go. If you'd like to continue the bow of humble warrior, you can do that. Arms straight up to the ceiling, head hanging like a forward bend without the 4 points on the floor. So this is less stable. So be aware of that. The blood is still flowing to your brain. Come back up, nice and slow. And as the blood flows back toward your heart, notice that. So too much blood to the brain and you get up too quickly, that can cause dizziness. Release the hands, sweep up, extended mountain, lift it up. Lift up the toes, widen the fingers. Look up. Arch your back a little. Bring up your head and release. Roll the shoulders. We're going to softly step out now to the 5-point star. Extend the arms. Intensify everything below the neck. Squeeze it all together. Extensions, extend. Other parts of the body, the torso contracts. So contract whatever needs contracting and extend everything below the neck that needs work. So you are tight here. Now, Soften it up. Stay in the pose though. Standing here as a star, shining brightly in the sky. The top of your head is the top of your star. Release the arms, roll back the shoulders. Take a moment. We're going to go into a warrior series. So we're going to move from the 5-point star. So the arms are going to be up, 5-point star. Turn one foot so it's pointing and swivel your hips in that direction. Sink the back heel so that foot is a little horizontal. So that's the stabilizing foot. Hold it here. Now keeping the knees or the legs straight, the knees are straight. Bring the forward arm up and let the posterior arm run down the back of that leg as you look up and soften the posterior shoulder. Balance in motion. Hold it here. Slowly bring up your head. Bring your arms back to parallel. Sink the forward knee. Now you want to be sure that your foot is in front of your knee. Swivel your hips toward the forward arm. So sort of sink the hips, swivel the waist. Sort of sink here. And then bring both arms together in the front. Oh, wait a minute, we forgot side angle. Come into side angle. So bring the forward arm onto the leg and the other arm up overhead into side angle pose. When I say we forgot side angle, I mean me. Happy baby here has nothing to do with it. She's innocent. So you're in side angle pose. In side angle, our upward shoulder here could be somewhat stressed if your shoulder doesn't want to be up like this. So that's probably the more vulnerable part. So if your shoulder doesn't want to be up, you can bring it across your body and let it hang. You can bring your hand to your waist. You can let your arm go behind your back. So you have options always to do the right things for yourself. If any body part is speaking to you in anything that might even resemble ouch, then make an adjustment. Slowly come up, leave the forward knee bent. Turn your hips in that direction. Bring both arms together in the front. Strong fist. And pull, bring it back. Slower is better. And let it go. You're shooting a bow and arrow. You are a proud, peaceful warrior. Bring your arms together in the front. Strong fists. And pull, bring it back. Slow. And about your mouth, like an archer, let it go. Hold it here, straight spine. Again, both arms together in the front. Strong fist. And pull, bring it back. Slow. Notice what's going on. And release. Hold it here. Bring both arms together in the front. Palms facing each other. Lift your arms up overhead. Arch your back and look up. Exalted warrior. Bring up your head. Lower the arms. Come back to center. Release the arms. Take a moment. Step together. I don't know if you can all see where she is, but she's in the exact center of my mat. Now she's snoozing and, I can't really wake her, so we can work around this, right? We love our animals. We love our kids. We love each other. We can work around everybody else's needs, which apparently her need is to be right here. All right, that was my rest. I'm going to actually step over her and see if I can do it like this so I can at least have a little part of the mat. We'll see what happens. Okay, 5-point star. Intensify it. Everything below the neck. Squeeze it all together. Notice. Lots of tension running all through your body. Soften here. Let it go. Turn the other foot. Point the other foot. Sink the back heel. Legs are straight. Bring the arms up. One arm up and the other arm back down the back of the back leg. Soften that shoulder. Hold it here. Bring up your head. Bring your arms back to parallel. Sink the forward knee for side angle. Bring the forward arm on top of that leg, and the other arm goes up overhead. Extend that arm or put that arm wherever it feels good. I now have a dog licking my fingers. This is like the best yoga class I've ever taken. All right, come back. Settle. We're going to shoot the bow. Bring both arms together in the front. Strong fists and pull. Bring it back. Slow, slow, and let go. Hold it here. Find your center. Straighten your spine. Again, both arms together in the front. Strong fists and pull. Bring it back. Slow, and let it go. Hold it here. Both arms together in the front. Strong fist. Center yourself. Plant yourself. Shoot the bow. Nice and slow. And let it go. Hold it. Both arms together in the front. Palms facing each other. Lift your arms up overhead. Arch your back and look up. Exalted warrior. Bring up your head. Lower the arms. Come back to center, to the 5-point star, and release. And notice. And step together. So, shake it out. We're going to relax here. First thing we're going to do is come to the mountain. The centering pose. The most centering pose, the healthiest pose for your spine. But not only that, this is a healthy pose for communication. When you stand and you have your arms to your side and you're listening, you look like you're listening. If you have your arms crossed, you look like you're protecting yourself. Unless you're cold, you could be cold. But shoulders are back. Body language is something that we can learn a little bit from. We can tell when somebody's stressed by noticing their breath. We can tell when somebody might be cold or protecting themselves from something else that's coming out or coming toward them when they cross their arms, when they avert their gaze, or when they blink too much. All of those things have meaning. I'm not an expert in body language, but I can pretty much read energy. And I can tell when somebody is tense. So we all have this energy field around us, right? And so here we are in the mountain. We're going to sweep up to the extended mountain, really lengthen, coming to center, feeling additional flexibility than we had almost an hour ago. Notice this, and release. And let's do some windmill breathing. Inhale up, exhale down, inhale up. And if your shoulder doesn't want to do this with one arm or just breathe. Simply breathe. Inhale up, exhale down. One more time, come up, come down. Roll back your shoulders. Hang here for a moment. Feel the energy in your arms, in your fingertips. That's your blood flow. That's your essence. Bring your arms up now. Lift up and lengthen and lean one direction for crescent moon. Lean into that shoulder. Let the other arm be up overhead. Slowly come back up. Lift up at center. Soften and lean the other way. Do the right thing for the shoulder that's on top. Take good care. You are in charge of your life. Nobody else. Come all the way back up. Lift up at center, soften here. Crescent moon the other direction. I think tonight is a full moon. I think last night was maybe almost a full moon. Come back up. Nice and slow. Lift up. Soften. Last time in the other direction. Come back up. Lift up. Soften and release. And roll back your shoulders. So let's sit down now and go into rest pose. Whatever that is for you. We were in rest pose when we started, and we're in rest pose now. And I'm going to tell you a story. So once you get settled and you start to breathe, I'm going to do a guided meditation for you. And all you have to do is let yourself listen. Imagine you are on a beach, white sand, blue water, blue brilliant sky with a few white fluffy clouds overhead. And you are walking in the sand, healing your feet like the sand is a giant pumice stone and it's taking away any calluses or dead skin. And you're walking and you are aware that you are all alone, but you know you are safe. As you walk, you let your feet wander to the water's edge and the water's warm and everything's good. And you keep walking. And soon you see something on the shore in the distance. It's not a person, it might be a log. But as you walk closer, you see that it's a rowboat. And as you walk closer yet, you see that it's got your name on the side in gold letters, your name. This is your boat. So you walk up and you look around it and you decide that after some thought, you give this some consideration, what are you going to do with this boat? And so you decide you're going to invite any person that ever hurt you, alive or dead, you're going to invite them to come in your boat. And they come. It's your boat, they know it, and here they come. So you help them get into the boat. You tell them that you thank them for the lessons they've given you, but you no longer need them. You've learned those lessons. And so you help them and all their baggage get settled in the boat. And when everyone is in it, you look at this and you think, man, I hope I have the strength to push this out. It looks like a pretty heavy load. But you do. You have the strength. you slide that boat effortlessly into the lake. And then you give it a nice, slow shove toward the horizon. And you look up. And you see the sun beginning to set on the horizon. And you're aware of the calming light, the yellow light of the lowering sun. And you can see the ripples on the water that are glowing from the sun. And it's like silver beach. It's like silver water, diamonds on the water. And the people are going farther and farther away. So you take one last chance to wave goodbye, and you do. And they wave back. They don't really need you either. So it's a good thing. They have learned their lesson from you, however you treated the lesson they gave to them, to you. You reacted back, or you responded in your own way. So you've all served your purpose. And you continue your walk. You're all alone, but you're not alone. And that's true for all of us, because we are surrounded with unseen helping hands. The unseen helping hands are abundant in our world. And you continue on your walk. Continue to breathe. Continue to rest. Continue to do the right things for yourself. And remember, there's no right way to do a wrong thing. Take it slow. Whatever you need will come. Whatever you need will come. It is amazing. When you really need someone, they come. And so as we close, bring our hands together in prayer pose. Bow our heads. Or if you're lying down on your back, just soften in. Bring your hands to the center of your chest. Let your thumbs press gently on the xiphoid process in the center of your chest. Let your arms rest on your ribs. As we say together the word namaste, which literally means you are love. You recognize that Holy Spirit in yourself and in everyone else. And you honor yourself wherever you are, just as you honor everyone else. And so we say together, namaste. And make it a healthy day, everybody. Thank you for coming.